Good evening, it's Michael here from Michael's Card Art, and it's Tuesday evening here in Australia, and I'm running a little bit behind time. I was going to have a couple of videos done, but unfortunately I've been busy. Fortunately, I've been busy making cards, and but last week I did make this one using some dies from sources unknown, and I've got some ex-stampers who have given me a whole heap of product and colors and ribbons and embellishments, and so I don't know where all of them are from. I just assume everything comes from Stampin' Up, but I know that that's not the case. But what I'm going to do is, because I've got so many cards that I've made in the last couple of weeks, and I want to show not how to make all of those cards, because I'm sure most of you will know how to do that anyway, but what I'm going to do is pull out the difficult elements of each of the cards and show you how I created those. And in this case here, I'm going to show you two things. One is the how I colored these liliums, what was the process I did with that, and also how I go about choosing designer series paper. And that was a question that was posed by a few people to me after this card was released. And so let's tackle the designer series paper first. And because I struggled with that when I first started stamping 18 months ago. And what I was doing, I would buy designer series paper, and I'd buy them in these big books, 12 by 12. And I'd look at them and I'd think, oh yes, each page is gorgeous to look at. Oh yes, I could do something with that. But I just didn't know how to mix and match them. Well, it's fair to say that in these sort of books, there's usually a consistent color theme that runs through all the pages. And it's a very simple process. If you look at this one here, and I'm just going to do it so you've got gray tones here, gray and white. You've got brown tones with brown and white and a beige. And here, that color combination is replicated with grays and beige and white. And here is a more prominent, darker colors. And the trick that I found, and this applies to all these packs of papers, the trick that I found is just find a design that you like. And in this case here, let's go with the butterflies, and just go looking through those pages that have got grey tones with them, and you will very quickly find pages that you can put together that are going to create a very good effect. I'm just going to show you a couple that two pages that I'm going to use. One is the butterfly page that I've just torn out, and I'm also going to use I'm going to use this one. Okay, now I'm also going to show you the page, the paper I used for this particular card and how I did that combination. So as you all know, I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and here in Australia. Now, Stampin' Up have a huge collection of designer series paper that they put out each year for us, and you will if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up's designer series paper, or DSP, it is all color coordinated. And here's the example of the set that that I used for this card. I think it was called Nature's Sweetness. It came out in last year's, or was it this year's, mini catalogue at the start of the year. And so what we've got here are greys, we've got whites, we've got gold embossing, we've got gorgeous brown tones, pecan pie I think it's called. And these tones all these pages all color coordinate with one another. And so it's very easy to take one of these pages and mix it with any other page and create a very nice harmony when you want to mix some papers. And whether you use one or two or three papers, you will find that if you take the various pages from the designer series set that they've come in, you won't have any problem mixing and matching or creating a harmonious look with 2 pages or 3 pages of the designer series paper. And in this case, you will see here, I've used this gold in the underside of this as the matte. I've got this brown, what do you call that, cross path, pecan pie it is, sorry, with these vertical and horizontal lines. And then you've got this grey that goes with them all, the one with the gold embossed writing. It's a very easy process, and you would very rarely go wrong in mixing and matching DSP on a card front. So that's what I've used here, and I did scallop the edges, and I've done the scalloping of the edges on that top sheet using a die cut. And this one is from Around the Bend. It's a Stampin' Up! One, and it was this one, this die set here, that I used to scallop the edges of that top layer and place it over this. So that was what I used there. But let me just show you the process with the butterflies and this piece of paper from it's one of those 12 by 12 books that you can find at lots of craft shops, and this was purchased in my early days of stamping, and I've not really taken the time to use it, but I am going to show you how mixing and matching color is very easy when it comes to, or mixing and matching pages becomes very easy when you take pages from the set, if you like. So let me just go and cut these down to size, and I'll be straight back. Now I've just gone and cut out those 2 pieces, a piece from this grey sheet and also one from the butterflies. The butterfly one has a slight yellow tinge, or a brown tinge. I'm going to call it yellow for the purpose of this exercise. And what I did was I thought these colours would look very good together to create a split background, if you like what I've done on this one. So what I've done is I've taken a die cut and I've just cut the grey piece in half like so. And if I bring back our butterflies, now I can use any one of these 2 pieces on the card. Now if I make the butterfly the foreground, the background, and this the foreground, then I can start to overlay, if you like, my plants. And in this case I'd like to keep these butterflies because it's a nice image. So this one here would be where I place the floral, if you like. And in this case here, where there was no real highlighted background sheet, it didn't matter what part of it I hid. So therefore I've got the flowers traveling across both pieces of the designer series paper. But in this case I'd like to keep the flowers. And what I'd also like to do with this series, or with this particular project, is look for a color that is subtle yet striking. Subtle, I say, because these are muted colors here in the background of this, so you don't want anything, well, too garish. And this is what I'm thinking as the color scheme to go with this. So I've just taken the liberty to create a couple in the background, and this is what it would look like. Now I don't know what the color is like on the camera there, but it does look a little bit off, but it's going to be stunning, I think, with that combination. So I'm using a it's called let me just get you it's called Wild Wheat is the yellow that I'm using. I'm using a smoky gray for the center part of the flower, and what I've done with the stamen is I've made this a very strong yellow, so it's crushed curry, and the edges of the stamen, I've made those the pebble path, which is a dark grey. So I'm going to bring all those together for you at the end, and so we're going to colour those, and I'll show you what that looks like. We'll bring those all together at the end, and then we'll need to start thinking about a background card. or a base card for this, because this alone does need to have some cardstock to support it, and I think it would really benefit from having a mat. Now, what I mean by a mat is a piece of card that is just, and it can be up to just 5 mils larger on the top and the side of the underground card, sorry, the background card, like so. So in this case, you could use, and I'm advocating that you use a strong color to contrast what's already here. So the black works extremely well with that, and you can see the yellow will work very well with this slight shading or discoloring of the background piece, and it goes very, very well, I think, with that. Other colors you could use as background, and I thought about this gray, but I don't think that's strong enough to carry it off. And if I look at this, let's just move that out of the way. If I look at that, you can see it's a little insipid with the grey there. It's not drawing it in its best light. So I thought, no, we won't go with that. But then I thought I'll try this using the yellow colour here, which is the wild wheat. And you can see here, that's a very vibrant and very strong combination that would carry that off very nicely. So let's colour our flowers first, and then we'll decide whether we use the yellow or the black, or we could make a project with one of each. But let's do the colouring first. I'll keep that there as a bit of a reference. Now, if any of you have seen me colour, it's a wild affair, let me tell you. I'm going to, we need a dauber for each of the colours. So I've got 2 light greys, I've got a light grey and a dark grey. I've got a light yellow and a dark yellow. So they're the only colours, and I just want to make sure that I've got a dauber for each one. Let's just see what I've got here. Right, that's that. And sorry for reaching over you, but I just wanted to make sure I've got the right ones there. Okay, so let's, before we start shaping the flowers, let's start doing the colouring. Now, I recommend you do your yellows first, so that you don't spread too much the colour of the grey. Now I'm just going to get some wild wheat here onto my dauber. This is what I'm doing. I start in the centre, and I try to be just off from the center, because you want that center part really to be with the gray. And so all I'm doing is, you can see I'm just touching the center part and pushing towards the leaves. I want the center part to be darker than the outer parts of the petal, if you like. And there we go. So the edges of the petal are just a light color of yellow, or wild wheat in this case. Okay, so the main color is in the center. Now, I don't know why my dauber is giving a grayish, maybe my dauber isn't totally clean, and okay, but you can see where the main focus of color is. It's in the center there. Now let's just get the light gray and load that one up. Now with this, I'm just touching in the center on a slight angle. I'm not putting it parallel to the cardstock. I'm just touching with the side of the dauber to start with, because I don't want a perfect ring forming where the in the center. Okay, so we've got our grey, we've got the yellow, and I'll just go back now and touch up the wild wheat. You're going to see some of the grey moving out away from the center. That's quite okay. because remember, we've got the stamen, which will go in here, and that's going to be the contrast of colors. And what I mean by that is it's going to be, here it is, crushed curry, which will be this part. So where you can, hold the stamen so you don't, so it doesn't break apart, and try to go as high as you can towards the edges of the stamen. Okay, that's enough there. I've got now, I'm just putting in the darkest of grey at the edges of the stamen. There we go. And what does this one look like? Is that, yes, that's good. Okay. Now, let's just put those there. You can start to see it looks like a dirty mix of grey and yellow, but it's really quite a stunning tonal combination. I'm going to do this one again using the same process, yellow and grey. Okay. All right, so starting with our wild wheat. I'll just make sure that's good. Yes. Okay. Brighter in the center, stronger in the center, and less color on the edges. Now that's just an example of what I'm using for this particular flower. That's not the rule that you might use for all flowers, but the question was asked, how did I color mine to give you that tonal effect there? And this is how that process was done for these cards. So pressing down in the center and moving to the edges. Okay. Right, now let's get our light grey in there. And there we go. It's a slight touch down without being parallel to the center of the card. You want to get that grey tinge in there. And now we can finish off pushing a bit more yellow out to the edges. It's as simple as that. And where it needs more color, just press that a little bit harder and you will achieve that two-toned effect. Now look what I've done there. I've muddied up my card and I've got grey coming into the yellow. That's one of the dangers when using this approach. And just so wipe that off. I have to say, these glass craft mats, I used to have paper, just A4 paper that I used to use, or grid paper. Not anymore, not since I've discovered and ordered my Stampin' Up! A craft mat. Okay, now that does look a little dirty, and there's a couple of ways we can fix that. One of the ways I was thinking, as I was getting ready for this video, one of the ways I was thinking, if we did have that sort of situation occur, you could use some embossing powder to hide that little indiscretion. Now let's just get this here. So this is the stronger yellow. It's the crushed curry. So give a good burst of color to that, and then we finish that off with the darker of the two greys. Okay, try not to repeat that mistake again. All right, and reaching over, and there we have our grey. It's a nice strong color. There we go. All right, now all right, let's do that one again, and this time I'm going to use the wild wheat. I'm not, if I put any grey, it's going to be just down the bottom here, And I'll show you what I mean by that. It's just going to go down in here. Okay, and it's likely you won't see that because of its position when I place it into the bunch of flowers. Okay, so there you go. And so you've got a darkness there towards the base, and then a lighter tone as you come to the edge of your flowers. Okay, and there is that. Just a bit darker there in the grey. There we go. All right, so that's that one done. Now, these are the these two pieces here. The new buds that are opening up. So they've got a they're going to be sitting on this little piece of cardstock somewhere, and they have the darker color tone at the base, and it moves to a lighter tone. So let's replicate that as well. So we've got a slight gray. I don't know what's happened to my okay, so we've got a slight grey here. There we go. And the other one is here. So once again, just a bit of colour down the bottom, lightly does it. And then we'll do move into the yellow like we've done with the previous one. Just a slight tone. Try and get different tones coming. There we go. Like so. And because it's a bud, buds tend to have a slightly stronger colour to them. So we'll give that one a little bit of an extra burst. There we go. And that's nicely toned up there too. All right. Now, in keeping with the tones, I'm going to make these... let me just think about this for a minute. I'm going to make these a darker color. Yes, we're going to use no, I don't want to use all that gray. I'm going to use the early espresso, and that will sort of line up nicely with the, yeah, see, that's a nice color. And you know what I'm going to do, just to eliminate any sort of contrast of brown, I'll make that quite dark. And then what I'm going to do is just touch it up with some grey on top of it. So here we go, we've got our darker colour in the stem of the flowers, and then as we get to the edges it becomes lighter and lighter, like so, like so. Okay, all right. And for me, these tonal things are just, well, for me they're important. Okay, now I said I was going to just finish off that brown with a little bit of the smoky slate, just to take away that grey tone, but to change the colour from, if it has too much of that yellowy brown tinge to it. And I think that looks quite good like that. All right, let's get rid of those daubers and get this flower assembled and see what we can do in terms of the folding and the shaping of our flowers and leaves. Okay. This week, I have to say, I was on a frenzy. I created so many different designs. I was possessed, I think, but it I couldn't keep up with myself. And so that's why I've gotten a bit behind with my videos. But just whilst I'm waiting for this to dry, let me just show you what videos I've got coming up in the next couple of weeks based on the number of inquiries that I got. Now, this is a card that I did. There was a set, there was 2 of these, and I've got these. Now, this is paper cut, fussy cutting. And fussy cutting is really where you see an image and you're actually just using scissors and cutting around the image to extract it from its source, and then we use it on, well, as an example of this is black and white, if you like. And all I did was cut out a frame and put the frame around the actual flowers to make it look like it was either a tray or a picture frame, or just to give it a boundary to it, and therefore it operates within the boundary. And so we're going to show you how we did those. And this here, this embossing on the frames, you'll see it's well, it's patchy. You've got some embossing and you've got some parts that are not embossed. You can see there. Here's another part that's not embossed. So how did I do that? So I'm going to show you that in a video very shortly. And what's the secret to fussy cutting? I'm not a great fussy cutter, but like with everything else, practice does make perfect. And what did I use in the background here on this paper to give it this soft, subtle grooving, if you like? And that's the insert there for that card, and the insert for this one here. So obviously some gold embossing. So that's one video that you're going to see how I did that. There was a few questions around that. Here's another one. I'm going to show you how I did this. This is really, this is just a stamping, and the star of the show are the now I've been told these are Spanish bluebells, and the reason they're Spanish is because they don't always hang over. English bluebells always hang over, and you don't have them upright like this. I thought that was quite interesting. So these are Spanish bluebells, and they're in the foreshore here of a full moon. And I'm going to show you how we did that, how we colored these to give you that 3D effect. And very, very simple card, but certainly generated a lot of interest. And here's another one I want to show you very, very quickly. In the vein of fussy cutting, here's something that I'm sure those people who hate fussy cutting would hate to see. But I'm going to show you how I did this one as well. There's a couple of little tricks in here, and I think you'll appreciate that. When you ever have the task of fussy cutting, don't put it off. It's quite therapeutic. Now I've got an urn down here with a particular patina, and I've embossed it. And how did I get these cutouts to all come together in a layered approach like this to give you a 3D look? So I want to show a video on that one there very, very quickly. This is the second last video I'll talk about. This one here is some gorgeous, gorgeous paper, and all I've done here is multiple sheets from the designer series set and created a layered background, and then over the top of that I've found a die set that has some gorgeous features within the die set that we're going to play to. And I've embossed some of these to go with the paper, and this is just a really, really classy card, and we're going to show you how we pulled that one together. There was another one in that same series, a simpler version, but once again it raised a lot of questions on layering and embossing and the background that I've used here. So I want to show you that. And the very last card is this one here, the upcoming video. This is a beautiful little card. It has it's really a design for those people with some advanced card crafting skills, but it's not to say it's not for beginners. And we've got stitching here that we've gold embossed, and we've got the cutout, we've layered the center there, we've created blue trees to give the effect of distance where those trees are sitting in the background. apparently eucalypts and pine trees give off a, what do you call it? They give off a, I don't know what it is. It's they put something back into the atmosphere like all trees do, but eucalypts and pines particularly give off a bluish tinge to that. So that's why a lot of pine trees apparently in the distance look blue, and in Australia eucalypts at a distance also look blue. Hence we've got a mountain range called the Blue Mountains for that very reason. And here we've got some cutouts. We've roughly embossed it, so you can see some is painted, some is embossed. The foliage from this gorgeous set, Encircled in Nature it's called. Just a beautiful stamp and die set. And I've set that on linen paper. And when you work with linen paper, it curls up. And that curling adds a lot of impact to that retro look, if you like. And here's the inside of the card. So we're going to show you how we did a number of the features on that. Okay, so let's stay focused, Michael. So let's come back to what are we going to use as our base card. Is it going to be the yellow or is it going to be the black? Well, let's start to assemble some of this, and we can make a decision once we know what we're really looking at, I suppose. Now, let me just say also, it would not be difficult to emboss this with silver embossing powder, and it would look fantastic. Now, actually, I think that page is just a little too big. Let me just have a look at this. Oh, yes, there it is. I've got picked up the wrong one. Now, so there it is there. I think at this stage it's going to go with the black. But anyway, that's, if I was a gambling man, that's what I would be saying at the moment. But yes, you could use some silver. Well, you know what? Let me just think. Do I want to do that or do I not? Oh, let's give it some class. Let's do it. I'm going to... so this is the stamp and die set around the bend. I cut with... I cut it out with... Where's the die set? Here it is. I cut out that... I'll cut that piece in half using this die set. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it or silver emboss it using this. And this is designed to go around those areas that have been cut or die cut, sorry. And all you need to do here is line these dots up with the pieces that are protruding, and you will get an even distribution of dots. Okay, like so. Now, what we need to do first is just emboss this, just to hit it with the embossing buddy so that we don't carry over any oils and that from handling it with our hands. I'm just looking for, here it is. Oh, sorry, I've just bumped everything. Now, dear me, sorry. Okay, now with the, so just apply liberally the Versamark, and you do need the Versamark, which is a sticky, it's a sticky stamp pad that enables the embossing powder to stick to it. So I'm just making sure that those are even, and it appears to be, and I'm now lowering it down. Don't rock too much because you don't want to pick up or create a halo effect on your project. Now I'm just grabbing this, actually I've got some left over here, and I'm going to use this So just applying this into the, and look at that. Now, if you don't have these die sets to cut and curve, don't worry. I have seen some very effective projects where people have just torn this edge to create a two-fold effect. And you can see there that is going to sit like that, and it'll be in silver. So I'm just going to quickly hit that with the heat gun. Now there it is there, all embossed. It's got a silver finish to it. Very elegant. And that will sit in there like so. So I think we'll stay with the black matte here. Now let's just get that out of the road. And now what we're going to start doing is shaping our flowers. Oh, let me just quickly glue this on. And oh dear, I've got the Tombow always, despite how quickly I put the lid back on, always has this issue with getting a little plug in the neck of the glue spout. All right, so let's just put that there. Quickly get that out of the road. All right. Fabulous. Okay, so that lines up there very nicely with that. And now we'll place that onto the mat. Do that straight away. Okay. Okay, just so that you know, the mat, the black mat, 12.5 by 10. This here, the next top card is 12 by 9.5. 12 by 9.5, and this piece was also 12 by 9.5. And when we've applied the cut, we've just placed it over there. So once again, 12 by 9.5, and then it's 12.5 for the black card by 10, and then that will go on to the base card, which was 13 by 21, I think it is, but I'll show you that when we come to cut that out. Now let's do our flowers. Now, where is my boning folder? Right, it is here somewhere, and here we go. It's in the tray where it belongs. Right, now all I'm doing here for shaping these is just bending them in half. I might flick that down a little bit to give it some shape, but then curve it around so that it sits in that sort of format. It's not flat or flush. I like there to be height, and you can see there how it's sits away from the card. Now there's a piece here that we have to join together, so let's do that one first. But before we do that, now liliums grow with their leaves, I believe, from all the research that I've done, kind of grow with their leaves back rather than forward. And so I'm just folding these leaves back onto themselves. Now this one here, you place that like so, I believe. Yes, there it is. Yes, so it has, or is it like that? I think it's like that. So let me just get that on there. Piece of glue. And you'll see here there's a little opening for where the stamen will go. Let's grab the stamen out now and get that on there as well. Now I'm just going to put the glue on this side of the stamen, because when it goes in, it will go in like so. Remove 5 little points so you don't get that glue shine. So it wipes it all over the flower. There we go. Right, and then let's bring that forward a bit. How did I say this was going? It was like this, I believe. Yes, there it is there. Okay. More fumbles. Okay, there it is. There. Right, just hold that down for a sec. Remove that glue. Oh dear, Michael. There we go. And, well, that was the messiest I've ever done. Oh dear. And it continues. Okay. Right, I don't think I could have done a worse job of that if I tried. Here we go. Just bring that around and straighten that up and go from there. All right. So there's that one done. And we've got our... And as I finish each one, I'll sort of fiddle around and give it some sort of position on the project. Now, this one here, this is one of the larger leaves. And let's just get those and bend them back on itself. There we go. Like so. Okay. And let's get the stamen for this one out. Just opening that up a fraction, like so. A small amount of glue, like that. And let's get our stamen in there, like so. Okay. And remove that little piece of glue there, like that. All right. Just bend that one back a bit. There we go. All right. And this last one, I seem to have a sticky spot on my thumb. Now, here we go. Straightening and bending back on itself. Very simple process. That's where it is. And there we go. Now, once again, opening. That's it. And a bit of glue. Here we go. And lock it in there. Okay. All right, now we've got these. Let's just stretch those up and give them some shape. And likewise with that one. All right, now these, just apply a little bit of glue at the base of these. That's it, like that. And like so. All right, now that's the bigger one, I think, like so. And this one, just move my fingers out so you can see what's happening. There we go, and that one will go there, like so. There we go. Just leave that for a second or two. And this, is this needed? Well, we can use it. We don't need to have one for every thing. It's really the stalk. And I think what we should do as part of this design is we'll have our sentiment possibly here in the bottom right. So that can go there. You've got to be so careful with this glue. I'm just thinking, 1, 2. We don't want to hide all of the silver that we've created down here. I want to keep some of that alive. And that could go there. And this can go over here, like so, and I might just move that in to there. Right, so that's my thinking there in terms of its design. And everything seems to have glue, or the propensity to... Okay, that's good. And we can then add the sentiment, and we can also add some embellishments. Now, how do I get them to glue down when they're all concave like that? Well, let's do this. The very edges of the lilium, I just bend them over a little bit, and I create a footprint for them, or a foot stand, if you like. Now, you might be able to see that there, slightly pressed at the ends. And what I will do is grab some, for the center of these, I will put in there we go, and this one as well. So in the center of these, I'm going to pile up some, what do you call them, dimensionals. Now, I might put up to as many as 3 there. And that's really just to keep that center of the flower high. Now, that's that one. We just need to create the foot holders for these ones. Just a very slight bend on the end. There we go. Now, let's just put some glue there, and what I'll do, so it's some glue onto my glass mat, and then I'm just going to touch them. Actually, I don't want to touch it with that. I want to... There we go. Get the glue on the ends with the... and just needs the finest amount. just about there. Oh, and I don't have the dimensionals there, so let's just put those in. Take that off to, and oh dear, and one more. See, it's like there's glue stuck on everything. Let me just get a wet cloth. And, okay, that's that one there. And the last couple here. 1, 2, and 3. Oops, wrong way around. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's back. Oh, sorry. I'll just put a couple in here. We don't need 3 there. All right. Now, let's get some glue onto the ends of his feet, or her feet, and there we go, just a little bit there. And, okay. Right. So that one will go there, like so. Just pressing down on its edges where the glue is on its feet. Give it a moment. Okay, you can see it's holding its height because of that dimensional there. Now let's do the same thing with this one. I've already applied the glue here. Okay, this was the one that seemed so sticky with everything. Now I'm going to do that here. There we go. Just on the edges, touching the feet onto. Okay. Now that has a bit of glue there, and I want to just minimize its stickiness. Okay, I use the embossing buddy to help that. Now I want to lift up these stamens like so. There we go, to give them some height. Now, as we continue, let's put a bit of glue on these feet here. And this one here. Okay. Now, it will go like so. And just a moment, holding that down to get its feet stuck. There we go. All right. And lifting up the stamen. There we go. And now let's just get some glue here. Just see, do I have enough over there? Yes. That looks good. All right, now stamens up. Bending them back, getting some glue onto the feet. And the last one is here. Okay. And let's put that one there like that. So just holding it a moment so that all the feet have a chance to remove any glue you can find. Okay, that one needs a bit more assistance. And check that glue away there and there. All right. All right, and this one, let's just put a dimensional under the middle of that one, and this one, oops, that's not it, and this one, and there we go, there. Okay. Oh, I cannot believe how strong this glue is tonight, and it's showing its full strength. Okay, let's get that into there. Yes, I think there is good. Okay, and there. All right, now the last piece is just to put in this, and I think that one could go I mean, even do I need it? Oh, I do like that. Yes, that's going to go there. Okay, fold up the leaves so they're off the page. Now glue down those parts that will be touching the card, and maybe a little piece there, and okay, that will go in like that. All right. I just want to lift that up there a fraction. There we go. Now, as we were talking, I was thinking that would look very nice like that. What do you think? Yes, I think I'm going to do that. All right, that's a slightly bigger dimension, so I just have to go and measure that. Now, I've just gone and cut the piece for our base card. So that is going to be, this is 21 centimeters by 13 centimeters. I'm just going to fold that and in half, and then just unfold that. There we go. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Now that will go on the top there, and that really does look nice now with the black and the and the wild wheat. So let's just give that a burst of the stickiest glue that I've ever experienced and get that onto the front of the card. Okay, and slowly maneuver it, or gently maneuver it into place so that it's equidistant from all edges. Great. Okay, now for the inside, I've got, I'm just going to straighten this down, those edges. There we go. Now that will glue to that, and I want an image, or do I not? Because it doesn't have a stamp set, what I might do is I might cut out a butterfly, fussy cut a butterfly and put it onto that. And what I'm going to do, I don't want to drag this out for you, but let me just show you what I'll do. And I'll have to cut it out for you because you'll want to see it now. But I'm just going to do this. All right, that's that, and that's that. All right, here we've got our sentiment. I'm going to glue that down first. All right, that's going to go there. There we go, equidistance, great. And then that will glue into the inside of the card, like so. Like that. And drive that into position. Here we go. Just use your, there we go. And any slight loose ends, just drag them in. There we go. That looks great. I'll do the fussy cut on that shortly. And I just wanted to put in, I've got two things to do. I need a piece of, we'll just use this one here. Sometimes when I've got a sentiment and I don't have any way of backing it, I'll do this. What I have to do, I'm going to stamp the sentiment onto this white card, but I want to color it slightly so that it has a bit of a border or a background to it. And let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to, I don't want that to be totally white that it gets stamped onto. And you can see there I've just taken that bit of white away from it. I'm just going to stamp, just wanted to say thanks. That's there. Now I'm going to fussy cut around that. Just like so, just very roughly. Now, there we go. All right, very rough, but then I'm going to do this. I'll just shape that a little bit more. Bring it down so there's no sharp edges. And around. And then I'll do this. Just where you're dragging it in and around. Just around the edges. And be careful how you do those little hard to get pieces. It's just about there. All right. And that's about it. All right, so that now will sit like that. So that little bit of grey that you applied there is not so stark white now. All right, that's safe to handle. But I always put dimensionals on my sentiments when I'm making a card and I don't have anyone in mind for it. So that way the sentiment can be removed and an appropriate one applied if the card is bought or given to somebody for a particular occasion. So this might eventually become a happy birthday card. Now I'm trying not to hide too much of that silver embossing there. All right, so we've done that. I've got that to go, and you know what? That's not what I wanted. I wanted that to say hello there. So I will put that there, but I'm not going to waste your time while I do that. And then it'll be inside. I just want to say thanks. Now, there is some silver embossing here. I wanted to incorporate this into the design of the card. Now, let's just... I find the easiest way to do that is just thread this through. Remember, you've got that, what do you call it? The dimensionals to fight through. And it just takes a little bit of patience. And just because I'm rushing it now, it'll probably test my patience. But let's do this. Let's see if we can get it all in there. No, we can't. Okay, it's coming through. One there. Oh. Here it comes. There we go. So I just wanted to bring that through there like that to create to tie in that silver part there as much as possible and bring this out somewhere around here. There we go. Now this here, it can go like that. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. And I'm just going to chop that off around there and around there, and I'm going to run a little piece of this here that this can adhere to, like so, and this one can adhere to down here, and there we have it. One there, one there, and oops. Okay. Right. You can see when you're doing something live, it doesn't always go according to plan, and you can spend forever trying to fix it. Anyway, you know what I mean. That's the sort of thing there. We've got some silver, and I'm going to fussy cut the butterfly. Let me just quickly do this. And I don't want too big a one, but I'm going to take this one here. Okay, so that's, when I'm fussy cutting, I'm not really closing, well, I am closing the scissors, but whilst I'm closing the scissors, I'm moving paper around so that I'm not having to do all the moving myself, if that at all makes sense. All right, that'll be much easier now to manage. And let's just go in here, like so. Now just around here. So you can see I'm kind of moving the paper as I'm closing the scissors, if you like. And there we go, like so, and down, and around. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And all right, and I just wanted that yellow there to give you that sense there. I'm just going to put a bit more. There we go. And glue this, and we're done. There we go. I think that's a card that anybody would be happy to receive. And all done from Designer Series paper that we found in a pack, and we just chose any real 2 sheets from the same set because we knew that they would be color coordinated. We then did our flowers. We started with a darker aspect in the center and then moved to a lighter coloring on the edges, and we cut one of the Designer Series paper sheets, and we cut it with an edge. You could have just torn it, and then we applied some silver embossing to it to give it that nice finish, and contrasted our stamens with a slightly darker tone and accent than the rest of the flower, and the flower being yellow and grey, quite an unusual combination, but it worked very well with the background card. Too bad with the glue taking over as the star of the show, but it's a nice card, a very nice card. So well done us. There you go. Well, look, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something and were inspired to go out and look at some Designer Series paper in a different light. And I hope to see you next time on Michael's Card Art. Thank you, and take very good care. Bye.